just got back from our walk and I'm vlogging this week because, as you can see by the title, I want to try round 2 of 7 books in 7 days. But I am really looking forward to this, and so I wanted to take you through again. I'm going to be vlogging kind of like last time, little bits of my life, but obviously the focus will be on reading and my experience of 7 books in 7 days. I'm going to be starting this morning with Packing My Library by Alberto and Manguel. So Blair's just hopping in the shower. I'll have a shower in a little bit, but while I'm waiting, I might make a cup of tea and get started. Did not realise I was accidentally sitting on these guys. Aren't they cute though? Tortoise and Totoro. Sorry guys. Whenever I go to my Myo, I just feel legitimately 1,000 times better. Okay, I'm gonna head home, although we might do a little bit of shopping because I have a voucher that I have to spend in the next couple of days. So let's go see if I can find a pretty dress. I was going to grab a sandwich and head to the park to read for a little while, but the weather has really turned. So I think our best bet is to head home before it starts raining and just have a little couch session this afternoon and see if I can finish this book. Good morning everyone. It's quite late in the morning actually, I should be honest. It's about 10:30. Blair and I normally do try and get up and go for a walk. So I was up at 7, but what is this? But the weather is just, it's not really go outside if you don't have to weather. So instead I stayed in bed and read. And actually I'm nearly finished book number 2. I have about not even 20 pages left to go. So I suppose I will talk a little bit about the book that I finished yesterday, book number 1, which was Packing My Library. This was really quite lovely. I enjoyed it, but when we first meet him, he's talking about living in France, and they have like a converted barn which houses his 35,000 book library. And so the book isn't like, these are the books I decided to keep and this is what the process of packing my library was. It's not that at all. Instead, it's more just like thoughts on books and what a personal collection means as far as our identity, what books mean to us, what words mean to us. Now this one I will talk more about, I'm sure, when I finish it, but I'm almost there. I don't really know what to make of it other than to say that I really like it. Like, I don't know how to describe it. It's basically just the story of a very small family, and they spend their summers on an island off the coast of Finland. And it's mostly focused on the relationship between Sophia and her grandmother. And it's really simple. Like, it's really simple. There's not even like a strong narrative or storyline that runs through it. It really is just like moments with these people. I suppose I'm just gonna get cozy right there and get reading. Book 2 finished and it's not even midday. I have been thinking though, and I think for book 3 I might actually pick an audiobook. I'm not sure which one, but I was just, like I said earlier, I have a lot to do, and if I can just like pop my headphones on and kind of potter around the house and go, you know, go to the post office and everything and just like do the things but still achieve my goal, why not? Before I go though, I suppose I should just sum up. I really liked this, and the same as what I said before, I don't really know why. As sweet as it is, as simple as it is, I think there is definitely kind of like a darker undertone to it, which is perhaps why it feels richer than just, you know, like a silly little storybook. And also it has some lovely pictures in here. I don't think it's like technically a children's book, but it kind of reads like one in a lot of ways. And these pictures are just really sweet. Here's my favorite one. Isn't that cute? I don't know. Just really liked it. I really, really liked this book. I'll have to pick an audiobook now. I've been kind of browsing. I don't know, I've narrowed it down to a handful. So I listened to the sample of the Little Book of Big Change and of Reveal, and they just kind of didn't do it for me. So instead, I have gone for Hardcore Zen by Brad Warner. And I don't know, it just sounds fun. Hardcore Zen, punk rock, monster movies, and the truth about reality. Happen every fucking time. Like, where do the extra socks go? Like, where actually do they go? Good morning and welcome to my bed. I'm just doing this because the sun's a little bright and it keeps like, what do you call it? Exposing me. Anyway, it's about 8 o'clock and I've been kind of chilling in bed for the last hour or so. Reading. I just made myself another cup of tea. I have about 2 hours left to go on the audiobook, the Brad Warner Hardcore Zen. But I did feel like just good old-fashioned reading this morning in bed. So I did start book 4. I thought I'd give Walking on the Pastures of Wonder by John O'Donohue in Conversations with John Quinn a go. I've never read a John O'Donohue book. I've always kind of intended to, but this title just did it for me. But I'm about 25 pages in, and so far it's really quite beautiful. So I'm going to read a little bit more, finish my cuppa. To put it in a theological way, I feel that landscape is always at prayer, and its prayer is seamless. It is always enfolded in the presence. It is a high work of imagination, because there is no repetition in a landscape. Every stone, every tree, every field is a different place. When your eye begins to become attentive to this panorama of differentiation, then you realize what a privilege it is to actually be here. I'm up to about page 50 now, which is pretty good considering this is book 4 on day 3. I mean, I still have a couple of hours of book 3, but you know what I mean. I think we're doing really well. This is a little longer though. It's about 180 pages, so I hope I haven't been overly ambitious, but I think I'm confident, and I'm actually quite enjoying reading bits of it aloud. I kind of find that with certain books that I have this impulse to read them out loud. So as much as I would love to sit here and read a little bit more, really I would, I do think it's time to get up out of bed and get some shit done. So let's go. I just got home and I had a lovely walk. It is the most beautiful weather ever today. It's just absolutely divine. I can't get over it. I finished the audiobook on the way home and I really, really liked it. Like, I don't know, there's just something about, he's quite funny. Brad Warner's very funny. And I remember from There Is No God and He's Always With You, the way he expresses his ideas and things just really makes sense to me. And this book was quite similar in that sense. It was just a bit more punk rock. Hi, just an update. It is 5:45, 10 to 6 now. And I haven't done much more reading. I've been chilling, watching or catching up on some Cute Witch 772 Kara's videos. So I haven't really done much reading, but I did do my nails, although they're not completely finished. They look a lot nicer than they did earlier, so that's good. I have heard from my friend. She's still not feeling great, so we're not going out, but she is keen to catch up. So I'm going to head there now and we're going to order in some food and watch some Doctor Who, which sounds utterly delightful. Those little legs though. Yeah. He's looking cute. Oh, the new trailer for next season's come out. I haven't seen it yet.
For next season of Doctor Who? The same doctor?
Good morning. It is Thursday today, which means we're at day 4 of the 7 books in 7 days. And I am about 80 pages into book 4. So I'm not doing too bad. I still have about 100 pages left to read of Walking the Pastures of Wonder, or whatever it is, the John O'Donoghue book. I really should have read more this morning, but I didn't. I only read about 25 pages, which still isn't too bad. But I am starting to think that I'm not actually going to get as much time to read today as I would normally, even given it's a work day, because on Thursdays I usually have lunch with a co-worker, with a friend, and then I think this evening we're going out for drinks because it was someone's birthday recently. So yeah, maybe not as much time as I normally would have on a work day to read, but I will endeavour to finish the book, because finishing the book today would be ideal, obviously. I'm actually not even going to put my book in my bag, which is what I was just doing. I'm going to carry it, because then, like, literally, if I'm waiting for the tram for 2 minutes, no excuse but to read, right? Good morning. It is quite late. It is time for bed, and I have definitely fallen behind in our challenge. I have really done no reading today. So I'm on page like 90, I think, of the book. I mean, so I've done like 40 pages of reading, but I have another 90 or 100 or something to go. So despite how well we were doing yesterday, not doing so well today. We ended up going out to drinks after work, like I thought we might. So it was a really lovely night, and I'm not mad at myself for like cancelling to go home and read. Do you know what I mean? But I am now a little concerned about my ability to finish this challenge. So I think, I'm going to give it my best, but I am working again tomorrow. Good morning. I totally didn't film at all yesterday. I had a really busy day and spontaneously went out to ramen and Japanese with some friends after work. So I didn't get much reading done. I did finish John O'Donoghue's book on the train to work in the morning, and I have started book 5, but only started. It's day 6 today, and I have another pretty busy day, so I don't know how much reading I'm going to get done, but I will attempt to vlog a little bit better today. Also, how ridiculous is this? It's summer tomorrow, December the 1st. And this is what I have to wear. Melbourne, what the actual fuck? just finishing up at work, and as expected, I didn't get a huge amount of time to read, but I did finish the first play, which was My Dear Worthy Darling, which is the one that I've seen a couple of months ago, and I'll talk to you guys a little bit more about this when I get home tonight, but I really liked it. It gave me a lot of feels. It's really good. I'm running a little late though, because I do have a live chat with my Patreons tonight, so I have to get home. So I just got finished with the November Patreon live chat with my patrons. Oh, why do I mix those words up so much? The Patreon live chat with my patrons. Every month we read a book together, and then we do a live chat and talk about it. And this month, November, was Waking the Witch by Pan Grossman. Blair was making me dinner tonight because he's wonderful. So while he was doing that, I was reading My Dear Worthy Darling by Alison Croggon. Now, I did finish book number 4 yesterday morning, which was Walking the Pastures of Wonder by John Quinn and John O'Donoghue, and I really liked it. I won't say I loved it. There was a lot that was quite beautiful and poetic about it, but also a lot that just didn't ring home. So it was a mixed bag. I will definitely say that I prefer I suppose it's not his writing, because I think it's transcribed from speeches and lectures that he gave, but I much prefer that to like his poetry. Then I have started on book number 5. It's the end of day 6 and I'm nearly finished book number 5. Now this is not a book in the like classic sense. It is, I suppose, a script or several scripts. My Dear Worthy Darling is a play that I went to see with 2 of my work friends, and I think basically the idea is that the main character is bipolar, at least that's what she's been diagnosed with, and she's having a mental breakdown, but she is experiencing it as messages from or voices from Marjorie Kemp and her era, and so it becomes like this religious experience for her, and it's really difficult, it's emotional, it's hard, it's kind of beautiful in a way, but it's pretty intense. I really like it. Oh, I don't like isn't even the right word, because I don't like it. It's uncomfortable, and yet I really like it. There's something really quite powerful about it and beautiful about it. I wanted to read you the final part of My Dear Worthy Darling. I am here at last, the terror of now, the elation of it. It's been a long journey. It's taken my whole life. Beginnings are brutal. I don't believe in anything anymore. There is nothing else. There is no one else. No one. Except you. All of you. Who are you? Will you betray me? Will you hold me close beside you? Will you let me go? Will you never ask me to be anything except what I am becoming? What if you say no? I will do none of these things. If you say no, I will walk away down that long white road that is neither remembering nor forgetting. Because from now, in every moment, no matter how painful that moment is, I will remember joy. Because from now, in every moment, I will only ever become who I am. What if you say yes? What will I do then? Will I say yes? Faith, even though I know how easily we are broken. Hope, even though we are mortal, living in the stink of our dying flesh. Love, which demands nothing and asks for everything. I will hold out my hand. For book 6, we are going to be reading Heart of Oneness, A Little Book of Connection by Jennifer Kavanagh. Now, if you've been around on my channel for a little while, you'll know that one of my favourite books of last year, I think it was The Little Book of Unknowing. It was about the same size and it was by Jennifer Kavanagh. And I just loved it. I loved it, and it really helped me in some really powerful ways. I'm going to get started tonight. I'm not going to finish this tonight, but I'll get started. And yeah, I think I'm going to head to bed pretty soon, so I'll probably see you in the morning. Good morning, or actually, no, I'm already lying. It is afternoon, it's 1 o'clock. And before we get into today, I have a confession to make. And that is that today is Monday. So for those of you keeping track, the 7 days finished yesterday. And basically yesterday I started off the morning okay, but very quickly just ended up feeling like absolute shit. I spent most of the day in bed in a lot of pain with a very bad headache and feeling very sorry for myself. So I didn't really read at all. So I have officially failed the 7 books in 7 days challenge. But I still wanted to kind of finish my 7 books, so that's what I'm doing today. But I did finish Heart of Oneness by Jennifer Kavanagh, the Little Book of Connection. Just it kind of didn't do a lot for me. It didn't really feel like it went anywhere. Like, it was a lovely concept, I just wasn't blown away by the way it was presented. I will say the one thing that kind of did bother me about this book is something that I see a lot in these sorts of books. And I suppose I've probably been guilty of it too in the past. I hope that I've learnt better now. But just the way, like, she'll kind of talk about something and then be like, and the Indigenous people of the world have known this for a long time. That's kind of like a trope that is very easy to throw around in kind of New Age spiritual circles. I think it's a bit tired. I also think obviously it's problematic. And I suppose what really highlighted how problematic it was for me was the fact that when she's talking about ideas, when she's talking about, I'm called Western ideas, she will quote individuals. She'll quote individuals and discuss their ideas. But when she's talking about Indigenous, sometimes she'll say she's talking about, you know, some tribes in America, but for the most part, she's not talking specifics at all. And ultimately, framing things this way allows some groups of people to be individuals and dynamic and three-dimensional and nuanced, but Indigenous people to be two-dimensional. And it's dehumanizing in a way that presents itself as respecting or appreciating. So that was book 6, finished book 6 this morning, and I have gotten started on book 7, which is a little book that I picked up at the shop on Saturday. It is called Rainbow Gum's Gift, Earth Giant Tree Gift Series, book 4, which I kind of didn't really realize. We do have the other 3, so I might pick them up just for the sake of having the set and reading them all. I'm about 20 pages in so far, which is, I think it's about a 50-page book, so I'm halfway through almost. I think we'll be good finishing today, although I know today is day 8. But as I said, I'm still not feeling super great. I would very happily spend another day in bed. I mean, I've already spent half of it in bed, so I just want to go for a little stroll. I have a parcel to pick up from the post office, which is about a 10-minute walk. I might get a sandwich for lunch and then come home. Like, I just feel like I need to do something to get myself out today. Who else feels like the shape of this probably means it's a tarot deck? Look at me! I'm actually doing the thing I've been meaning to do for like a month, which is sit down and film a video. Now, I just thought, you know, I'd wrap up our... Oh, fuck, that's hot. So I don't remember how much I spoke about this book earlier, but I mean, it was a very, very short little read, about 50 pages, and ultimately, I don't know if I really feel like picking up the other 3 in the series. I'm not sure. I might have a little bit of a flick through next time I'm at work in my lunch break or something, because it was sweet. And I liked how easy it was to read. I suppose I wanted more of a connection with the author. She was talking a lot about how this tree and its message had helped her heal from past pains and had changed her life. But she'd kind of just be like, I healed from my past. And it's like, okay, cool, but what happened in your past? Like, what is it that you're healing from? I think probably my least favorite book of this week would be Heart of Oneness, A Little Book of Connection by Jennifer Kavanagh. And I think I said all I wanted and needed to say about this one. I'm a little disappointed. I thought I would like it a lot more. In terms of my favorites of the week, I'm struggling between 3. Brad Warner's Hardcore Zen I really, really liked. I think he's very funny and playful, irreverent in a lot of ways, which kind of just suits me in terms of how I see the sacred. I don't know, I really, really liked it, and I thought the way he interwove his views and practice of Zen with his experience as like a punk. I thought that was really fun. The other one I adored was the summer book. This was just really sweet. But as I said, it has kind of this touch of darkness to it, which is kind of difficult to put your finger on, but I loved it. I thought it was beautiful, and I want to read all of her other books now. And then the other one I really enjoyed was My Dear Worthy Darling and Other Texts for Theatre. As I said, I kind of had already seen My Dear Worthy Darling. I obviously haven't seen the other 3 plays that are in here. And I definitely, like, My Dear Worthy Darling was my favourite of the 4. But kind of reading it, I don't know if there was just things that I missed or if they changed them when they performed it, when we saw it. But there was just little things that made it hit home even more than it did when we saw it, which is saying something, because I was kind of quite shaken up by the end of the play. So it was a very beautiful but very challenging experience. So like, I love it and hate it at the same time, which I think is incredible, really. That kind of illustrates just how powerful a text it is. So as we already know, I did not really succeed in this challenge. I read 7 books across 8 days with 1 day off. But I mean, as I said for our last time, it's a challenge because it's supposed to push me, but it's not like a challenge in terms of like, if I don't finish the 7 books then I've somehow like failed at life. I wanted to do this because I wanted to read some more books, really, is what I was doing. And I achieved that. I suppose one thing that I learnt, particularly this time round, was about the kind of benefit of having a goal of reading 7 books, but also of being flexible with myself. Like, I feel like if I had been too strict with like 7 books in 7 days, after that 7th day, having only read 5 books, I would have just been like, okay, well, I'm done, I failed, whatever. But because I really wanted to read those 7 books, I knew I needed a day off, and I knew I'd failed the challenge, but I still wanted to finish them. So I pushed myself to do that on the 8th day. I feel like having the idea of finishing 7 books in 7 days gave me that kind of push to read as much as I could for the most part. But also being flexible with myself with that goal meant that I read 2 more books than I would have if I was too strict with that goal, if that makes sense. Before I go, as always, a big, big, big thank you to my patrons over on Patreon. You guys are fabulous. You guys have been really patient with me and supportive of me in kind of not being super active when I'm not up to it, but also being really super supportive and excited when I am more active. So that's very much appreciated. As per usual, a big extra special thank you to Tracy Timmerman, Laurie and Lynette Brown. Thank you very much, and thank you to everyone over on the Patreon. But that is all for this video. Thank you so much for coming along the journey of reading 7 books with me this week. I hope you had fun. I certainly did. And I will talk to you again very soon. So much love. Bye.